Hello everybody and welcome to Haiku Talk. I'm your host, Ben Ga, your friendly neighborhood haiku poet. And today we're going to take a look at a piece from the latest issue of Chrysanthemum from Maureen Edden, or Eden. I'm not quite sure on the pronunciation there. But the poem has the first line of Spring Shower. All right, with that said, you know what time it is. Time to sit back, grab yourself a tasty beverage, and let's haiku. Welcome back, everybody. It's good to be with you again for another episode of Haiku Talk. This one comes from the latest issue of Chrysanthemum, which is its first issue back after a little bit of a hiatus, so it's good to see it back in the fold of things. And this first piece comes on a day where here in St. Louis we are expected to get some rain. Could happen while I'm recording this, so we'll see. So without further ado, let's take a look at this haiku. Spring shower. Each pothole holds the same rainbow. Spring shower. Each pothole holds the same rainbow. How very nice. Perfect spring poem and a perfect kind of haiku that reminds us all to take a moment out of our busy lives, stop and look around, and more than likely when we stop and do so, we're going to find beauty all around us, even in the most unsuspecting of places. Who would have thought a pothole poem could be beautiful? But here we have it. Now this poem follows the fragment and phrase format that we've seen so many times before, with the fragment being spring shower, and the phrase being each pothole holds the same rainbow. Let's take a look at how this works line by line. Now that first line of spring shower is good. It's engages our senses. It puts us in a time of year. We know what this is. And it's very apropos, like I said, because it is spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, and we are having rain here and there. So this is very appealed to me right away. And, with the spring shower, it's not a spring thunderstorm or a spring flood or a spring anything like that. It's a spring shower. And that conjures up kind of a pleasant rain. And being spring also uses that suggestive bit of language to suggest it's warm and it is pleasant and things are green and it's a very warm, welcoming sort of piece. And that line, just puts me in a good mood. Now we go to line 2. Each pothole holds. Each pothole holds. And now we get a little bit more context and we get a little bit of something that seems a little ugly with pothole and holding. And we, this time of the year in spring when winter is gone and everything's thawing out, streets are filled with potholes. I've got friends that have had flat tires recently due to potholes. I've got, it's a pretty gross time of year to be driving actually because of all of the streets are a mess. And so after that welcoming kind of warm, happy first line, we get to a second line that is kind of ugly. I also like how pothole and holds, there's the O sound being repeated. It's just a nice bit of musicality there, kind of furthering that that the hole and holding are going to be key components of the piece. And I'm not sure what's happening here, but I'm compelled to go to line 3 to see how this all ties together. And line 3, we have another very pleasant line of the same rainbow. The same rainbow. So now these potholes, which are a nuisance, are suddenly filled with this most beautiful of spring events, of seeing a rainbow. And so, excuse me, not only is do we have the spring shower, but we also have this colorful rainbow that's appearing at the same time. And we're seeing it above our heads in the sky. And we're also seeing it reflected below in the potholes. And wow, what an image. What a scene. Again, with the suggestive language here, I'm immediately put outside in the street. I'm either on the sidewalk, driving my car, doing something that makes me out into the world where I am noticing all of this taking place at the same time. And what a conflicting bit of imagery, of potholes, but yet they are filled with rainbows. Complex and beautiful. And yes, it does remind us that you do need to slow down a little bit, not literally because of the potholes, but also just to notice the beauty that surrounds us all day, every day. And you never know what kind of things you're going to bump into, what things you're going to see, until you actually take that time out of your life to slow down, be in the moment, and really get out of your own head, get out of your own way, and see what's happening around you. Because in order for you to see this thing happening, you do have to really be aware of your surroundings, and you do have to really be paying attention to the little details that are going on all around you. And if we're unable to do that sometimes in our own life because it's really difficult, that's what reading haiku can give us. It gives us a little respite in the day. It allows us, in the form of doing something and engaging in something and feeling like we're active and feeling like we're accomplishing something by reading things and moving through pages, we're also tricked into slowing down and seeing these moments and taking in these moments, which give us that pause, give us that moment, give us that sense of connectedness to the world around us, which is just a beautiful thing for this form. And again, because the poet isn't present in the poems, we're allowed to enter in and see these moments in our own world, in our own neighborhoods. We don't have to know anything about the poet to enjoy this poem. We enjoy it in our own streets, in our own minds, in our own locations. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Thank you, Maureen, for a wonderful piece. Thank you, Chrysanthemum, for another wonderful issue. Welcome back. It's good to have you back in the swing of things again. And thank you, dear watchers of this channel, for tuning in for another episode 69. And yes, I did realize it's a juicy opportunity to try to do something a little naughty with that number, but decided to forego that and go for this beautiful piece instead. Again, thank you for tuning in. Feel free to leave a thumbs up if you liked this episode. Think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Both of those things do help the channel out to raise our awareness and put us into all sorts of strange algorithms that might show up on people's feeds when they're searching through YouTube. And there's nothing better than popping up in somebody's feed when they're like, what the heck's this? And maybe they'll click on it and get hooked onto some poetry. And if you do like and subscribe, thinking about ringing the bell to get notified when new episodes air. And until the next one, peace, everybody. Enjoy your spring rain. Watch out for potholes and keep an eye out for beauty.